Todd. So Todd's our moderator today. He'll make sure we're rolling live here. Good morning, everyone. I'll call the October 28th, 2021 organizational meeting to order at 9:49 a.m. First on the agenda is the administration of the Councillor's Oath of Office. We have Lane Johnson, Commissioner of Oaths, in attendance to administer the Oath of Office. The ceremony looks a little bit different due to COVID protocols. We are following COVID protocols today, so I'd ask when we do the Oath of Office ceremony, the candidate will walk up to the presenter's table here, to the mic, with your mask on. You can remove your mask at the mic, read, and then sign the oath. The Commissioner will then sign the oath, and then you can return to your seat. And maybe we'll start in reverse order to what we did earlier today, and we'll start with Councillor Johnson.
There we go. Should be working now. So the camera is recording the meeting proceedings there. This screen is not working. So when we're taking the oath of office, if you would project this direction, and then they will be able to record the meeting as that proceeds. So you, Councillor Johnson, if you would just speak into the microphone and repeat the oath of office.
I, Neil Johnson, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of Councillor for the County of Newell. So help me God. I, Arnold Dirksen, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of Councillor for the County of Newell, so help me God.
I, Amanda Philpott, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of Councillor for the County of Newell, so help me God.
I, Ellen Unruh, do affirm that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of Councillor for the County of Newell, so help me God.
I, Greg Screever, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of Councillor for the County of Newell. So help me God.
I, Holly Johnson, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of Councillor for the County of Newell, so help me God.
I, Lynette Kopp, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of Councillor for the County of Newell, so help me God. I, Adina Scandrup, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of Councillor for the County of Newell, so help me God.
And short, do swear that I diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of Councillor for the County of Newell. So help me God.
Let's do this. I, Kelly Chrisman, do swear that I diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute, according to law, the office of Councillor for the County of Newell, so help me God.
Thank you, Lane. Next item on the agenda, excused from meeting. Nobody needs to be excused. Procedures of voting and appointing committees. I thought for the benefit of all of our new councillors, I'll actually read through our nomination and election procedures, just as a point of clarity, point of order for the procedures. So nominations and election for the position of Reeve, Deputy Reeve, and or committee membership if required or desired shall be conducted in accordance with the following procedure. 1. Nominations for Reeve shall be received by the county administrator. All other nominations and or appointments shall be conducted under the direction of the Reeve. Seconders to nominations are not required. 2. Nominations shall be called for 3 times, and nominations may be closed after the 3rd call or by a carried motion that nominations cease. 3rd, if only 1 nomination is received for the position of Reeve, that nominee shall be declared elected by acclamation by the county administrator. 4, if an election is required for the position of Reeve, the election shall be conducted by the county administrator. Voting shall be by secret ballot, and each voting member shall be given a packet of ballots for this purpose. They're the orange ballots that you have there. 5, collection and tabulation of ballots will be performed by the county administrator, with the name of the successful nominee for the position of Reeve to be announced by the county administrator without reference to the number of ballots cast. For the election of Deputy Reeve and all other positions filled through the nomination and election procedure, the county administrator shall conduct the balloting process, and the name of the successful nominees will be delivered to the Reeve without reference to the number of ballots cast. The Reeve shall make the formal announcements. 7, individuals may have their names put forth for committees by either being nominated or by volunteering. 8, the selection of alternate members for committees shall be done separately from the selection of the committee members. 9, individuals may have their names put forth for the position of Reeve, Deputy Reeve, and chairman or vice chairman of committees by either being nominated or by volunteering. 10, council may exercise the option for appointment of members to committees, boards, commissions, etc. by nominations and elections or by resolution of council. 11, in the event that a further tie vote occurs, the process outlined in Section 128 of the Municipal Election Act shall be used to decide the successful candidate. Section 128, equality of votes. If it appears on the calculation of the votes that 2 or more candidates for any office have an equal number of votes, the returning officer shall write the names of those candidates separately on blank sheets of paper of equal size and of the same color and texture, and after folding them in a uniform manner and so that the numbers are concealed, deposit them in a receptacle and direct some person to withdraw one of the sheets, and the returning officer shall declare to be elected the candidate whose name appears on the sheet withdrawn. Finally, 12, the chairman and, if required, the vice chairman of committees shall be selected prior to the first working meeting of the committee, and at the discretion of the administrator, this may occur at an orientation meeting or a meeting scheduled just prior to the first working meeting. So hopefully that's clear as mud. We'll be here to guide you through. And with that, I will open it up for a call of nominations for the position of Reeve. Lynette.
I would like to nominate Kelly Christman.
Lynette
Do I have to say the whole thing?
nominates Kelly for Reeve.
For Reeve.
Are there any other nominations?
I would like to nominate Arnold Dorkson.
Amanda nominates Arno. Councillor Screever
I'd like to nominate Neil Johnson.
nominates Neil.
Excuse me. After a lot of thought last night, I have to turn that down. I've got too many people I'm responsible to. I can't be any extra burden. Thank you, Greg.
Neil declines. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for the third time? Councillor Unruh.
I vote nomination ceased.
All in favor? Nominations cease. So if each councillor would write their vote, Lane will collect the votes and then I will tabulate them to the side here. Congratulations, Arno Dirksen has been elected as Reeve. If you'd come take the Reeve's chair.
Matt, if I may, congratulations, Arno. I wish you all the best in the ensuing year.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank all of you. I'm absolutely humbled and honored to be your representative. And when I say and do things that make you cringe, let me know. I'll try to get better.
So if you'll come to the Reeve's chair, and Lane will administer the oath of office of Reeve.
I, Arno Dirksen, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability, execute according to the law the office of Reeve for the County of Newell, so help me God. Thank you again. We'll get through this with agenda, and Matt will be coaching me and us, so that's all good. I guess the next order of business is the nomination and election of Deputy Reeve. So the floor is now open for nominations for Deputy Reeve. Greg?
I'd like to nominate Kelly Christman for Deputy Reeve.
Okay. Greg Screever has nominated Kelly Christman. Are there further nominations? Further nominations? Holly?
I'd like to nominate Neil as Deputy Reeve. I'd like to nominate Neil Johnson as Deputy Reeve.
Okay, thanks. Did you accept that, Neil? Yes. Okay, Holly Johnson has nominated Neil Johnson for Deputy Reeve. Are there any further nominations? Ella?
I'd like to nominate Amanda Philpott.
Ellen Unruh has nominated Amanda Philpott. Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations for Deputy Reeve? Third and final call if there are any further nominations. Otherwise, I declare nominations cease. Correct? And we will go to a vote. I will announce that Kelly Chrisman is the Deputy Reeve. Congratulations, Kelly. Right, at this point, we'll ask our returning officer, Lane, will administer the oath of office for our Deputy Reeve, Kelly Chrisman.
I, Kelly Crispin, do swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of Deputy Reeve for the County of Newell. So help me God.
You'll want to call for a motion that the secretary put your hand here. Well, that here is that's just the way it is. Use planning commission, same idea. I think you could read those parts as you go through 6.2 and 6.3.
Okay, good, thanks. Okay, as we go through Kelly, please.
If I may, Arno, I just wanted to thank Lynette for the nomination and everybody who voted with me. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. And Arno, congratulations again.
Thank you, Kelly, and congratulations to you too. I look forward to working with everyone as well. I can say that I think we'll lean heavily on each other for representation in a broad range of different activities and building a strong team that continues the strong legacy that has been a strong reputation for this county for many years. So thank you. We'll at this point move on to board and committee appointments. And we need, first of all, for the Agriculture Service Board, I believe that all 10 councillors have served on that in the past, and it will consist of the full council. And so we need a motion that the role and responsibility of the county's Agriculture Service Board is delegated to and will be carried out by county council, by the entire council. Would someone move that motion, please? Adina?
Move that.
Thank you. Councillor Scandrup. I guess I have to get used to that, those acronyms if I... Does that need a seconder? No, it does not. Does it need a seconder? No. Okay. All in favor of the motion for the entire council to be the Agriculture Service Board, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Similarly, with the Soil Conservation Act Appeal Committee, that is typically served by all 10 councillors. And the Soil Conservation Act Appeal Committee, again, will consist of all of the full council. As well, Municipal Planning Commission will consist of the 10 councillors. The Municipal Planning Commission will consist of full council. As per bylaw 1680-09, the MPC will elect a chairperson and a vice chairperson at their first meeting following the organizational meeting. So that won't happen today, but at our next meeting, that will be an early order of business, I assume. Is that right? Thank you. Moving on, and again, I assume that we just go through this in order of the agenda here. The Agriculture Pest Act, Weed Control Act Appeal Committee will be up to 4 members at large. So applications submitted by Sarah Burnett and Hubie Callan are Edward Bade, Lois Schmidt, and Doug Rogers have confirmed that they will let their names stand for another term. The legislation does not specify the number of members to be appointed, so council could appoint all 5 of these individuals. and we would need a motion to enact that. Councillor Screever?
I move.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of the motion as written on the agenda, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. The Airport Commission is 1 councillor and 2 members at large. The members at large submitted by Lionel Juss are Ron Sarita, who has confirmed that he will let his name stand for another term. So we need a motion to appoint Lionel Juss and Ron Sarita as members at large to the Airport Commission for the first year of a 4-year term. Councillor Short?
I move.
Thank you. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Now, do we need to call for nominations for the council? Okay, yeah. At this point, we'll call for nominations. We need to elect or appoint 1 councillor to the Airport Commission. Well, nominations are open for nomination of a councillor, please.
I nominate Neil Johnson.
Councillor Short has nominated Councillor Neil Johnson. You accept that? Yes. Are there further nominations? Further nominations for the Airport Commission? Third and final call for nominations for the Airport Commission. I will declare nominations cease. Congratulations, Neil, as the Airport Commission representative. Moving on to item 6.6, the Assessment Review Board. Members are required to take Principles of Assessment and Administrative Law 2 through the Municipal Affairs. We need a motion here that we appoint Anne-Marie Phillipson as Chair of the Regional Assessment Review Board for a 3-year term from September 1st, 2019 to August 31st, 2022. And further that Daphne Asney Martin, Norm Gerstein, and Calvin Sturgeon will be appointed as members to the Regional Assessment Review Board. Councillor Christman moves that go ahead, please.
Yeah, I so move, and I would further like to add that this is accredited course and that there is an exam goes along with this for these folks to be on this committee. So I appreciate the work that they do. So moved.
Okay, thank you. And Matt, this is basically affirming actions that were taken in the past and that are ongoing, but need to be reviewed on an annual basis by council. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. And you so move, Kelly? All in favor of the motion as indicated, please indicate. Thank you. That's carried. Item number 6.7 is the CAO Performance Evaluation Committee, which will involve the REEV and 2 or more councillors. Nominations are now open at this point for the Performance Evaluation Committee for the CAO.
I'd like to nominate Greg Screever.
Adina Skanderup nominated Greg Screever. Accept that?
I'll accept.
Okay. Further nominations? Further nominations? Councillor Christman.
Reeve Dirksen, I would like to volunteer. I was on the hiring committee, and Matt was hired in February. And so for the ensuing year, I would volunteer to sit on that committee to see the first year through. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We can accept volunteers. Is there, okay, thank you. Are there any further nominations or volunteers? Ellen, please.
I'd like to nominate Neil Johnson.
Accept that nomination, Neil?
No, I'm going to let that one go. I haven't gotten that experience yet.
Okay. So we need at least 2. We can have 2 or more. Ellen, please.
I'd like to nominate Adina Skanderup.
Ellen Andra nominated Adina Skanderup. Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations?
Seeing none, I will declare nominations cease. Now, do we have a decision to make whether we have 2 or more councillors, or what is the standard procedure here?
Yeah, so you can decide whether you want to limit it to 2 or if you want to appoint all who have volunteered or been nominated.
I'm open to direction from council with regard to that. Do we want more than 2 councillors plus the Reeve involved in this, or Neil, please?
I think the 3 would be fine. The more eyes you have, the greater the opinion.
All in favor that we appoint all 3 councillors to the CAO Performance Evaluation Committee, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Moving to item 6.8, City of Brooks Recreation and Parks Board, Division 5 Councillor and Division 10 Councillor, and up to 3 members at large. Laura Lukey and Kathy Bidet have confirmed that they will let their names stand for another term. There will be 1 vacant member at large position. What's the standard procedure here? That will be filled in the coming days, and at this point we will make a motion to appoint the people that we have, correct?
Correct. The councillors for Division 5 and 10 can go shake down the residents and encourage them to get involved as members at large on that really critically important recreation board for the region.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the time being, it will remain vacant, and as applications come in, we would add that to a future council agenda to appoint a member at large.
Okay, thank you. Is there someone prepared to move that this appointment? Councillor Holly Johnson, thank you.
I move that Greg Screever and Neil Johnson be appointed to Region 10, would we look at Brooks Recreation and Parks Board?
Thank you. Together with the 2 members at large, correct? Thank you. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. That's carried unanimously again. Thank you. The Councillor Compensation Review Committee will consist of 3 councillors. I will accept nominations for that position, Councillor Compensation Review Committee, at this time. Councillor Chrisman?
Dirksen, I'd just like to speak to this a little bit. It's a fairly unique committee, from what I understand. This is where peers look at peers' timesheets. It's an opportunity. We've had the experience of catching on the good and the bad, and nobody ever did anything viciously or anything. It was sometimes just a timing or a calculation mistake or a mileage incident. So this is an opportunity for us to level that out. And believe me, I am one of the worst time collector of my very own. I was on the committee, and so if you followed the minutes in the past, you would have seen that my mistakes were often caught. So for the good and the bad, it's a great catch. So when meetings end, they're recorded all at the same time, for example. You know, just because I stayed back and talked to somebody for an extra 20 minutes after the meeting, that doesn't get tacked on to the meeting time. So it's a unique but a great committee, I believe.
Thank you for that. I would agree. I think it's a great check and balance that keeps us all out of the weeds, kind of, potentially, or certainly can do that inadvertently, and so I think that's excellent. I will accept nominations for that committee. Ellen, please.
I'd like to nominate Amanda Philpott.
Okay, thank you. Amanda is nominated by Ellen. Holly, please.
I'd like to nominate Lynette Cobb.
Lynette Kopp is nominated by Holly Johnson. Dan, please, go ahead.
I'd like to volunteer.
Okay, Dan Short will volunteer. Kelly, did you?
Good.
Okay. Further nominations?
I was going to nominate Dan Short.
Thank you. Any further nominations? Seeing none, I'll declare nominations cease, and the three of you will be riding herd on all of us for the next year, and I appreciate that very, very much. Okay, moving to item 6.8, the City of Brooks Recreation and Parks Board, Division 5 Councillor and Division 10 Councillor, and up to 3 members at large. Did we do that already? Sorry, I'm sorry. Do that. Save that for next year. 6.10, is that where we are? Okay. Like I said, I don't have to get on an airplane to not know where I'm going, so. County of Newell Library Board, 1 councillor and 9 members at large. So we need to nominate a councillor, and then there's a list of members at large. So I guess first we'll start with nominating a councillor to the library board. Nominations are now open. Neil, please. Sorry.
Holly, if she'll take it again.
Holly Johnson.
Well, there's a problem. I am listed as a member at large that needs to come off. I think I found a replacement for myself, so I'm off there, and I've actually just spent, I don't know, 6 years in the library board, so no.
Okay. Holly refuses that nomination. Was there another, you were going to make a nomination or not?
I just wanted to make sure that was clarified.
Okay.
That, you know.
Further nominations or a nomination for the library board? Neil?
I nominate Amanda.
Neil nominates Amanda Philpott. You accept that nomination?
I'm going to decline at this time.
You're declining? Okay. Nominations for library board. Ellen, please.
I just wonder, remember, you can volunteer as well. I won't be one of them, but perhaps you guys are just waiting at the bit.
Yes, if someone is willing to do that, well, thank you. Volunteers are welcome. Anyone volunteer or have a nomination? That Greg, please.
I nominate Lynette.
Okay. Greg nominated Lynette Kopp. You accept that? Thank you. Thank you. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Seeing none, I will declare nominations cease, and thank you, Lynette, for covering that on our behalf. We now need a motion that we appoint Lacey Fall, Jane Marsh, Julie Musgrove, Robin Nesbitt, Sherry Steinbach, Tammy Cage Parker to the municipal, as members at large to the municipal library board. Dan?
Can we make an amendment to that motion now to take Holly off, if that's what you want? Yeah.
I can't be a member at large anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Then I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda item to remove Holly Johnson from Division 4 as a member at large.
okay, do we need a separate motion or just simply not including Holly's name?
Move the motion as amended.
Okay, so
And there we go, I'll get all the language right in it.
right. Dan makes a motion that we amend the motion in front of us to remove Holly Johnson's name. Does that need a seconder? No. All in favor that we amend the motion with regard to the members at large to the library board to take Holly Johnson's name off, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. And now we need a motion to pass the amended motion with the names that are printed before us without Holly Johnson's name. That's how that reads, correct? Adina, did you have you're voting? Okay, thank you. That's moved by Adina. All in favor of the motion, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Our fire area committee, Visano and rural area, councillors from Division 6 and 1 other councillor. A councillor from Division 6 and 1 other councillor. So, Kelly, please.
I would like to nominate you, Reeve Dirksen.
Oh, put me on the spot, so.
Yeah, it makes sense geographically, and I would love to have you on the committee.
Okay, if it makes sense, and we'll accept the nomination on that basis.
I'm just curious, I'm looking at, there's 3 fire committees we're looking at, Pisano, Duchess, and Rosemary, and I'll have that counselor plus 1 other counselor. Is it advantageous, question for Kelly or Matt or Ellen, to have the same other counselor, so they're familiar with what's happening with fire in the county? Is that a beneficial thing?
Yeah, you're a mind reader. That's a great segue to what I was going to ask Councillor Chrisman, who actually was the one other councillor, if I'm right, who sat on all of those committees. And I think there was some value in having the same councillor sit on the various committees just to see how the world spins in different areas of the region. Councillor Chrisman, you can speak to that, please.
Yeah, I was that person, and it's only been set up that way for about the last 4 years, I think. And there is value to it, that there be some continuity between the departments. So I would volunteer for that again, if you were interested in doing that. But the motion right now is to do the Pisano one.
Yeah, we're dealing with the Pisano appointment, but I think it's valuable to have a discussion around this. Is there any further, Neil, please, if there's further discussion around this issue, and as we move through the agenda, we probably need to take a break for some, or have the information or the discussion maybe prior. So Neil, please.
I think it makes a lot of sense having 1 member go to each.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise you're 4 different scattered opinions and little continuity. No, I'd nominate Kelly for it if she'll take it.
Okay. We'll deal with that next, but is there any other perspectives or comments with regard to what we've talked about here? In that light, are there further nominations for the Fire Area Committee for the Pisano and Rural Fire Area? At this point, I have been nominated. Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations? Well, then I would accept a motion for nominations to cease, or I'll just declare that they cease. We're good. So, okay. Nominations, I declare the nominations cease. Thank you. So we now have, we've had the discussion with regard to Duchess and Rosemary, but we need to deal with those individually. Is that correct? We have Kelly nominated as the councillor for the Duchess and Rural Area Fire Department. Are there further nominations? Any further nominations? Oh, Neil, please.
You have your Division 8 plus 1 other councillor, Division 7 plus 1 other councillor. Isn't Kelly the other councillor on both of them?
That's where we're getting to. Yeah, she's nominated.
So you don't need a nomination or anything because you've already got your.
Yeah, we just haven't made the decision, right? Or I mean, we can.
Yeah, you'll need to move through them each individually. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the direction we're going to deal. I'm just offering. Go ahead, Ellen.
So we're on to Duchess and Rural Area right now. So there is, of course, the one who is the councillor from that area. Yeah, no, I get it. Okay.
Yes, Amanda, as our councillor for Division 8, is on there, and we have Kelly nominated as our council representative. If there's no further nominations, I will declare nominations cease, and we'll move on to the same process for Rosemary. Ellen is our representative from Rosemary and is on the Fire Council for Rosemary. Kelly has been nominated as our representative. Are there any further nominations? Ellen?
I'd like to nominate Amanda Philpott.
Okay. You accept that nomination?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Any further nominations? Third and final call for nominations for the Rosemary and area fire representation from council. At this point, we have Kelly nominated and as well as Amanda Philpott nominated, so we will have a vote, correct? Okay.
Hang on. Just a minute. Somebody paying attention.
While we're waiting for the results of the election, does anyone else have anything that they want to put on the table at this point? Ellen? Oh, no. Amanda? No. Okay.
What's that?
Dan, please. Yeah.
Did we officially motion to approve or to appoint the last ones, or do we actually need to do that? The last orders of Bassano and Duchess. I don't believe we actually motioned to.
We
Do we need to?
That's a good point. We didn't actually. I just stopped accepting nominations. We didn't actually deal with those motions. That's correct. Thank you. So we'll back up and do that.
Shelley, and for those other two, you can just declare them. They were claimed.
Okay, that's right. Yes, as a result of the acclamation, we don't need to have the motion, correct? And Kelly has been elected as the representative for Rosemary as well, so that is also, we don't need a motion because we've had an election result, correct? Okay, thanks, Ken. Yeah. No, that's right. Moving to item 6.14, Foothills Little Bow Municipal Association. All 10 councillors, the CAO attends as a non-voting member. Matt, can you give us a little background on that? What is the history of that?
Oh, geez, what is the history of that? Lane could probably speak to it better. I have yet to attend a Foothills Little Bow meeting in real life, but that is the southern municipalities get together at least twice a year, if I remember right, down in, typically it's in Lethbridge. Councillor Chrisman and Councillor Unruh can backstop me here as well, but typically MPs, the MLAs will come in. There's typically an information presentation. Councillor Chrisman, Councillor Unruh, am I ticking it off all right?
I'm sorry, I was in a different world. I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Foothills Little Bow. What does it all consist of?
Well, basically, it's division number 1. We have 5 divisions in the province of Alberta, and so this would be considered the south, and it's anywhere. Tabor is in there. There is, my goodness, Lethbridge County, and then going south further. Wheatland County is not with us, and basically what we do there is there's speakers, and we deal with resolutions that come to the table and vote on that, and then if it goes through, it goes to the next step to RMA when we meet in Edmonton.
Okay, thank you. I think, Kelly, please.
And that's a good summation. I would just add that we each have a vote. So if there's an agenda item or items that we feel strongly about, we each have a vote, but we have to be in the room to vote. So that's just an add-on.
Okay, thank you. With that information, we will move forward to the Grasslands, item 6.15, Grasslands Regional FCSS. We need 1 councillor and 1 member at large. Correct? Okay, we'll go to the next page for the member at large, but do we have nominations for a councillor to represent us on the Grasslands Regional FCSS Committee? Adina? Sorry.
I would like to volunteer for that one.
Okay, thank you. Holly?
I was going to nominate Amanda, Councillor Philpott.
Okay. Adina has volunteered. Amanda accepts the nomination to that committee as well. Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations? Neil, please. Oh, sorry. No? Ellen?
Kelly, are you interested? I know you used to work at FCSS, correct? Maybe in Bazano, am I right? For many years, just wondering if you were interested at all.
Thanks, Ellen. I think we have some good people running already. I'll let it go. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I will declare nominations cease, and we will have an election between Adina and Amanda for the representative to the Grasslands Regional FCSS Committee. And the member at large, if turning the page over, we have applications submitted by Clarence Amulung, and so we need a motion to appoint Clarence Amulung as the member at large to that committee. Dan? So moved. Thank you. All in favor of the motion to appoint Clarence Amulung, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Holly. I'm sorry.
While we're waiting, I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about all the intermunicipal development plan committees. There's a whole list of them. Some are just rural, some are more rural urban based. If there's a strategy for those as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that question and invite conversation about it, because I'm not, I don't know that background either. Who has some comments on that? We're coming into a whole group of intermunicipal development plans. Someone have some perspective on that for us? Oh, Kelly, please.
Sure, I can speak to that. As you know, these are statutory documents that are fairly new, and what we did was we pulled bordering councillors to the IDPs. So as an example, on the west side, Div 6 and Div 9 went to Wheatland and spoke to them, and same on the south. Is that clear enough?
Exactly, and whoever is, I think it was Duchess and Patricia, for example, that has special areas. So whoever is actually touching that border, we've traditionally done that.
Okay. Well, okay, just for to catch up on our previous agenda item, Adina Skanderup has been elected as our representative to the Grasslands Regional FCSS. Thank you, Adina. Congratulations. Let's. So with regard, any further discussion around the municipal development plan? So what we're saying is we typically appoint someone who is adjoining or close to adjoining, I guess, eh? We deal with these individually, each one.
And the level of activity for your IDPs is pretty minimal, right? There will be some activity for the IDP with the village of Duchess coming up here right away. But we had internally among administration discussed there could be potential advantage to having the same floating councillor who floats through all of them. So you've got the councillor who borders and then the same councillor who floats. That might be valuable to get the lay of the land if there is opportunity, right, across all the different IDPs and how they work or don't work together.
Great. So Holly, please.
Can you define minimal time commitment a little better?
It depends. I'll give you the lawyer's answer, right? It will all depend. I anticipate there will be, with the Village of Dutchess, if we can hash through things there. Yeah, it's a wild card. So I say minimal because it has in the past been minimal, but it's a wild card that, like everything else in government, could end up being bigger than you think it should be.
Any further input or comments? It's 11:15. Do you want to take a 5-minute break? We recess? Is that what you call it? Okay, good, perfect, yeah, okay. We'll recess at this point for what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe? 10 minutes? That's good, okay, thank you. We'll call the meeting to order, and we are on item 6.16 for the Intermunicipal Development Committee for Bassano, but I think there might be some comments with regard to all of these. I think we'll need to deal with each one individually, but Neil, did you have some comments or a suggestion with regard to these plans?
I think that link, like we had in the last batch, is important for this one. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll have different councillors representing us in different ways.
Right.
So I think I would suggest that we have a nomination for one councillor to be on all of them. And
okay.
If I can, right now, I'll nominate Dan.
Okay. Neil has nominated Dan for all of these intermunicipal development committees, plan committees. You accept that, Dan? Okay, you do. Thank you. We will go through the procedure, and I think that's simply a good idea so that there's opportunity for other approaches if we want that. But so I am taking we are taking nominations for the Intermunicipal Development Plan Committee for Bassano. Are there further nominations? Any further nominations? Seeing none. Oh, Kelly, please.
Reeve Dirksen, just clarity. So did I nominate you for that one, or am I thinking fire? Okay.
Yeah, you didn't, no.
So we didn't advance that far. Thank you for the clarity.
I'm good with that, yeah.
See, I get lost too.
That's what we're all here for. So Dan Short has been nominated to be our representative to the Bassano Intermunicipal Development Plan Committee. Final call, further nominations. Seeing none, I declare nominations cease.
You've already been nominated, correct?
The local councillor. Yes, right? Correct. Yeah, that's assumed, I think, in this one, right? Thank you. So Dan will be our representative to the Bassano group. Moving on to 6.17, Intermunicipal Development Plan Committee for Cypress County. Dan has been, go ahead, Dan.
I'd like to nominate Holly Johnson, Councillor Johnson.
Holly Johnson, okay. Dan nominates Holly Johnson, and Dan has been nominated for that as well. Are there, you accept that?
I accept.
Okay, thank you. Further nominations? Further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease, and Dan Short and Holly Johnson will be our representatives to the Cypress County Intermunicipal Development Plan Committee. Moving on to 6.18, Intermunicipal Development Plan for Dutchess. Dan Short has been nominated. Are there further nominations? Any further nominations? Holly, please.
I'd like to nominate Amanda Philpott.
Amanda is already on that.
Oh, she's on there.
As
Sorry.
the representative from Dutchess, thank you. Any further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease, and Dan will be our representative together with Amanda. Intermunicipal Development Plan for Rosemary. Dan Short has been nominated. Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations ceased. So Ellen Unruh and Dan Short will be our representatives to the Rosemary Intermunicipal Development Plan Committee. Moving on to the Special Areas Intermunicipal Development Plan Committee. Dan Short has been nominated. We need another councillor, Neil Johnson. You have a nomination?
I've got a lot of special areas experience. I'll volunteer for that one unless somebody else wants it.
Okay, Neil Johnson volunteers to represent us there together with Dan Short. Are there any further nominations? Final call for their nominations. Seeing none, I declare nominations ceased. So Dan Short and Neil Johnson will be our representatives on the Special Areas IDP Committee. Yeah, I'm getting good with these acronyms. The MD of Tabor IDP Committee, so you don't have to hear me say all that again. Dan Short has been nominated. Are there any further nominations? Holly, please.
I'll volunteer for that one.
Holly Johnson volunteers as a neighboring councillor there. Are there further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease, and Dan Short and Holly Johnson will be our representatives to the MD of Tabor IDP Committee. Moving on to the County of Vulcan IDP Committee, we again need two councillors. Dan Short has been nominated. Dan?
I'd nominate Councillor Johnson, Holly Johnson.
Okay, Dan nominates Holly Johnson. You accept that? Are there further nominations? Are there further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease so that Holly Johnson and Dan Short are our representatives to the Vulcan County IDP Committee. Moving on to Wheatland County IDP Committee. Dan Short has been nominated as our representative. We need a second one. Are there further nominations to the Wheatland County IDP? Holly Johnson.
I can volunteer for that too.
Holly volunteers for that position. Thank you. Are there further nominations? Any? Oh, Greg, please.
I'll nominate Kelly for that position.
Okay, Greg Screever nominates Kelly Chrisman. That's for Wheatland. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Seeing none, we will have an election for two councillors. Nominated are Dan Short, Holly Johnson, and Kelly Chrisman. We need to elect two, correctly? Correct? Yeah.
Yeah, two pieces of paper, one vote.
Two pieces of paper?
Yes. You're going to vote for the two councillors you want.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just for information's sake, lunch has not been ordered in today, so we're going to drive through this and get to the end of the day, and I'm going to suggest that we pick a place to meet for lunch, maybe. The Brooks, or whatever. I don't know. Think about it. One name on each piece of paper. Two pieces. Oh, this is a long list. I think we must be close to halfway. Okay, thank you. Kelly and Dan have been elected to the, what was that? Wheatland IDP Committee. Thank you. Moving on to the Joint Services Municipal Development Plan Committee for Brooks. Can you just give us a little bit of background on that committee? We need to elect 3 councillors and the CAO attends as a non-voting member. Matt.
I'm going to read, Ariana actually included in the agenda package a list of all the committees with some description, so I'm going to read off this one here. The committee consists of members from both the County of Newell and the City of Brooks and deals with issues pertaining to the services that could be shared by both parties, such as economic development, fire protection, road work, funding requests for these shared services, and development within the IMDP area. Meetings are held the second Tuesday of every month at the City Hall, sometimes at City Fire Hall. No big deal. Yeah, this one's a little more active. So we do have an economic development budget, Brooks Region Tourism, NRTA. A lot of those conversations happen here at the Joint Services Committee meeting. You know, if the Brooks Bandits are looking for some support, some funding, we've directed them to the Joint Services Committee before. That's the committee that's talking about the pathway extension out to Kinbrook Island. So those are the types of things that come up there. And it's really just looking at opportunities for where it makes sense to share services.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Sorry.
I'll volunteer for that one.
You'll volunteer for that one? Thanks, Neil. Holly?
I'm nominating Arno Dirksen.
I'm happy to decline that. Thank you for the nomination. Do I need to be on that? I don't, as Reeve, I don't think so. I think that'll be well covered by, thank you, but I'm pretty conscious of my own schedule and we've got lots of good representation, but thank you. Further nominations, please. Kelly?
I would like to volunteer for that one. That one's always intrigued me.
Okay, thank you. Kelly volunteers. Ellen? No? Greg?
I'd like to volunteer for that.
Okay, Greg volunteers for that. We have 3 volunteers. Further nominations or volunteers? Holly, did you have?
I was going to volunteer. I was going to volunteer as well.
Volunteer, okay, thank you. Any further nominations or volunteers? We have 4 people. No. Any further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease and we will have an election. Do we need 4 ballots for this?
You're voting for 3 councillors.
3 councillors. Nominated are Neil Johnson, Kelly Christman, Greg Screever, and Holly Johnson.
It's better if it's 3 for the counting, you know. For Councillor Johnson, sorry.
Right. Joint Services IDP with Brooks Committee will be represented by Neil, Kelly, and Greg. So thank you. So, got that? You okay with first names? Like, I just, it's a lot more efficient, yeah? Okay. Okay, moving to item 6.26, Newell 911 Dispatch Association. What's the time schedule there? Is it a big one, or what happens there? Once a month? Okay, thank you. That's probably here somewhere. I just haven't read it, so thank you. Once a month. So we need one counselor to represent us on the Newell 911 Dispatch. Do we have nominations, Neil?
Yeah, Greg, if you'll do it, or else I'll do it. We're right next door, and I don't see it being a big political item. Well, maybe we'll split it. We'll be there. I'll take it.
You'll take it?
But I may ask my colleague to help out.
Yeah, Neil volunteers. 911 Dispatch, are there any other nominations or volunteers? Any further nominations? Dan, please.
Can we nominate Greg and have two stand on the board?
Matt, we can only have one representative, but that position just simply can be a counselor, so.
Thank you.
Any further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease. Neil will be the representative to Newell 911 Dispatch. Thank you, Neil. Let's move forward to Newell, item 6.27, Newell Housing Foundation. We need two counselors. So nominations, Adina, please.
I'd like to nominate Amanda Philpott.
Okay, Adina nominates Amanda Philpott. Holly?
I'd like to nominate Ellen.
Good. Thank you, Holly. Nominates Ellen Unruh. Any further nominations?
I would like to nominate Adina.
Amanda nominates Adina. Thank you. Any further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease, and we will have a vote for two counselors for the Newell Housing Foundation, and our representative, or nominated are Ellen Unruh, Amanda Philpott, and Adina Scandro.
She sent this out, which is all the committees and all the time on it. She sent it out. I asked for this because I wanted to.
Yes, I recall.
I just wanted to know what we're signing up for.
I started my computers yet. I gotta get it.
This morning I have to ask how to get onto it.
Elected to the Newell Housing Foundation are Adina Scandrup and Amanda Philpott. Thank you. We're moving on to the Newell Recycling Association, Newell Regional Solid Waste Management Authority for Southern Alberta, Energy from Waste Association. That's a long acronym, or it would be. We need one councillor. What is the time commitment there? Is that a monthly meeting or a? Okay.
Sure. Meeting times. Newell Recycling Association held the first Tuesday of every month starting at 7 at the Recycling Depot. NRS WMA meets on the fourth Thursday of every month at this office beginning at 7. The SEWA board meets on the fourth Friday of every month, and the location rotates among the member locations, so Southern Alberta road trip.
So that is 3 different organizations that one person, one councillor represents us to. Are there nominations or volunteers for that position, Amanda?
I nominate Ellen.
Ellen?
Ellen.
Ellen, okay. Amanda nominates Ellen. Thank you. Further nominations? Greg, please.
I'll nominate Neil.
Neil?
Yeah.
Greg nominates Neil. Are there further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease, and we will have an election for either Ellen Unruh or Neil Johnson to the item 6.28.
I'll let Ellen have it if she wants it.
Okay, Neil declines? You gonna arm wrestle or what's going on here?
Okay, I'll take it.
Pardon me?
I'll take it.
Neil's taking it? Okay. Ellen declines? Okay. Thank you. Item 6.29, Newell Regional Services Corporation, NRCSC, that's the water, regional water. We need 2 councillors for that. Do we have nominations or volunteers? Dan?
I'll volunteer.
Dan Short volunteers. Holly Johnson?
I'll nominate Lynette.
Holly Johnson nominates Lynette. You accept that? Any further nominations?
I will nominate Ellen.
Amanda nominates Ellen. Thank you. Any further nominations? Further nominations for the NRSC committee? Seeing none, I will declare nominations cease, and we will have a vote on, we'll elect 2 of Ellen Unruh, Lynette Cobb, or Dan Short. We should see. For Phelps. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Elected to the Newell Regional Services Committee are Ellen Unra and Lynette Kopp. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 6.3, the Newell Regional Tourism Association. We need one councillor to represent us there. Ellen Unra, please.
I would like to nominate Adina Skanderup, please.
Okay, Ellen nominates Adina. Further nominations? Further nominations to the Newell Regional Tourism Association? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease, and Adina Skanderup will be our representative. Thank you, Adina. Moving on to the Palliser Economic Partnership, we need one councillor plus one business representative. There are no applications at this point for the business representative, but we need one councillor to the Palliser Economic Partnership. What's the history of that? I thought we pulled out of one of those organizations that had Palliser, or is...
PEP is still going. It was Canadian Badlands that has dissolved.
Okay. Okay, Ellen, please, nominations.
I'd like to nominate Holly Johnson.
Ellen nominates Holly Johnson. You accept that? Further nominations? Any further nominations to the Palliser Economic Partnership? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease, and Holly will be our representative to the PEP committee. Thank you, Holly, and the business representative will be identified at some point in the future, correct? Recreation Board for Divisions 5 and 10. Councillors from Division 5 and 10, one Division 5 member at large and one Division 10 member at large, as well as one member at large from either Division 5 or 10. So all members at large have confirmed that they will let their names stand, and they are at this point Councillor Greg Screever, Councillor Neil Johnson will be our representatives, Kathy Safronovich and Bruce Niznik and Bill Endersby will be appointed as members at large, and what do we need to do? We just need a motion on that, thanks. Kelly moves that we accept the motion under 6.32. All in favor of accepting that motion, please indicate. That's carried, thank you. Moving on to the Recreation Board for Division 6. Councillor Chrisman will be our representative. Are there nominations for one councillor for that position? Kelly?
I would like to nominate you, Reeve Dirksen.
Okay, I will accept that unless there's someone else who would like to do it. I'm fine with that, but whatever's further nominations or volunteers for that position? Any further nominations? If not, I will declare nominations cease, and I will be our representative together with Kelly for the Division 6 Recreation Board. Recreation Parks and Culture Board for Duchess and Division 8. Division 8 Councillor Amanda Philpott, and we need one more councillor. Are there nominations or volunteers?
I'd like to nominate Lynette.
Holly nominated Lynette. You accept that?
Twice a year. Twice a year.
Okay, accept that. Thank you. Any further nominations? Further nominations? Seeing none, I declare nominations cease, and Lynette and Amanda will be our representatives there. Thank you. Regional Emergency Advisory Committee. We need one councillor and one alternate.
Just one thing to clarify on this. It's actually, while it can be a councillor, it's preferred that it be the Reeve or the chief elected official. Yeah, this is a new body that hasn't met yet since the bylaw was adopted. What it is, we've got one Regional Emergency Advisory Committee that includes the County of Newell, Rosemary, Dutchess, Bassano. And that group oversees the disaster function for all 4 municipalities.
Okay, and so that will be one counselor, you said,
One member of council,
Right.
but preferably it would be the chief elected official.
okay,
Doesn't have to be, but preferably would be.
okay. I would agree it doesn't have to be, if someone else wants to do that, but Kelly, please.
I think it would be a good one for you. You would be rubbing shoulders with the other mayors in the municipality, and it's not a busy committee, just to let you know. So I would like to nominate you.
Okay, thank you. I'll accept that at your pleasure. Are there further nominations? Now, do we need to have an alternate as well from council, correct? Okay, so Neil, please.
I'd like to nominate Dan Short. for the alternate.
Dan Short, okay. Any further nominations? Holly?
If it's an alternate position, I'm wondering if it should be the deputy read, if you're able to make it, if that would make the most sense in this situation. Lane, would it?
Open for discussion. Neil, you got
I think Dan's got some volunteer fire department skills, and that's why I nominated him.
Yeah.
He's into it.
So we, to stay out of the weeds on this, we need a counselor and we need an alternate. So is it appropriate? Well, I guess, are there further nominations? I will accept further nominations first. Kelly?
Just a question. Refresh me on the purpose of this committee. Is this going to be in any way a conflict with Dan's volunteer work in the fire department? I just want to, I need to understand the purpose of the committee and the bylaw.
Lane, do you have some perspective on that?
Okay, each municipality is required to have an emergency plan in place that addresses how disasters are going to be dealt with. Prior to the establishment of this regional committee, each municipality had their own individual disaster plan in place. What we're doing now, having established this regional one, there's going to be one regional plan that will provide guidance for the municipalities as to how major disaster events are managed. It's not to deal with individual budgets for fire departments or anything like that. It's simply to deal with the major events. It could be a wildfire moving through municipalities. They're the group that provides guidance for the emergency. When there is a declaration of disaster, there is a committee that's pulled together. This group simply reviews the plan, makes sure that there is resources that are in place during the year so that when there is a disaster event, the municipality is in a strong position to address that event.
Respond to it. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
The first meeting of this committee is actually scheduled for November 10th, so it is coming up. But it shouldn't be a problem with having a volunteer member of the fire department involved as a member of the advisory committee.
No. Okay, thank you.
For that.
That clarifies, thank you. I realize that I might be confusing what we're doing here. Are there two elections here or one? Is it reasonable for us to at this point, we have two nominations, myself and Dan, and we need a counselor and an alternate. Is it reasonable to have an election for the counselor and then the alternate becomes the other of the two, or what do we need to do here, Matt?
I guess that could be up to the group. The way I heard it, the first for the counselor, the Reeve was nominated for that, and Councillor Short was nominated as the alternate. Do I have that correct? But if if there was a preference between the two who are nominated, one being the councillor representative and one being the alternate, if there's a preference there, we can certainly run a vote.
Neil, what was your intention?
My intention was just the way that Matt just described it.
Okay.
You were already on.
Okay.
And I thought Dan would be
Dan,
a
the alternate.
good alternate.
You're good with that, Dan? I respect the desire of the group, and also, I'll attend there as the first call if that's needed, but I appreciate having an alternate. So you're good with that?
That's the way I understood it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. So I was the only one that was confused. That's excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to item 6.36, the Road Ban Committee. We need the Reeve, the Director of Municipal Services, which is Mark, right? And 2 other councillors as per bylaw 1848-15. So nominations for 2 councillors for the Road Ban Committee. Ellen, please.
Just a question, Matt. We don't have any roads that are being banned, do we?
This is going to be a pretty light committee. Yeah. I think it's just to fulfill the obligations of our bylaw.
I'm overweight wherever I go, so I'm Okay, nominations, please. Holly?
I'll volunteer.
Okay, Holly volunteers to the Road Ban Committee. Thank you. Further volunteers or nominations? Any further? Oh, Lynette?
I would volunteer.
Volunteer, okay. Lynette and Holly have volunteered. Any further nominations or volunteers? Seeing none, Holly and Lynette will be our representatives together with myself on the Road Ban Committee. Moving on to the Safe Communities Committee, we need 1 councillor. Are there nominations to the Safe Communities Committee? Amanda?
I volunteer.
Okay, Amanda volunteers to that position. Thank you. Any further volunteers or nominations? Third and final call, seeing none. Amanda will be our representative to the Safe Communities Committee. Thank you, Amanda. 6.38, the Salary Negotiation Committee. We require 3 councillors for this as per policy 2009 PLG 005 Salary Negotiating Committee. Volunteers or nominations for the council? Kelly?
I would volunteer for this one. I've never been.
Okay. Kelly? Adina?
I'd like to volunteer. No, I would like to nominate Greg Screever.
Okay. Greg Screever has been nominated by Adina Scandrup. Further nominations or volunteer? Kelly? Pardon me, Ellen, I mean.
I'd like to nominate Holly Johnson.
Okay. Ellen nominates Holly Johnson. Accept that?
If anybody else would enjoy that position, I would be willing to withdraw my name. How's that?
Any further, thank you. Any further nominations or volunteers?
I nominate Adina Scandra. Oh, you declined?
You decline? Okay. Any further nominations or volunteers?
Do we need one more?
We have 3, but one that Kelly or Holly was willing to step down if we get a 3rd one, but or a 4th person. Any further nominations?
What's the time commitment on that one? Matt? I'll volunteer.
You volunteer? Did you withdraw, Holly?
I'll withdraw,
Okay.
yes.
Any further nominations? If not, I declare nominations cease, and the Salary Negotiating Committee will be represented by Greg, Kelly, and Dan. Thank you. Shortgrass Library Board, we need one counselor. Are there nominations or volunteers? Kelly, please.
This one dovetails nicely with Newell Library Board, so I would like to nominate Lynette for Shortgrass Library.
Okay, you accept that, Lynette? Thank you. Any further nominations? Shortgrass Library Board. Third and final call for nominations or volunteers. Seeing none, Lynette, you'll be our representative on the Shortgrass Library Board. Thank you. The Subdivision and Development Appeal Board, we need up to 4 members at large. We have a motion to appoint Lois Schmidt, Sarah Burnett, Colin Wildshoot, and Nigel Seymour as members at large to the Subdivision Appeal Board. Sarah, as a new applicant, must complete the SDAB training. All other members have valid training. So do we have someone to make that motion? Neil moves. Motion under 6.4. All in favor of that, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. We now need a banking resolution that will say that we approve the banking resolution, whereas the Reeve or Deputy Reeve and the Chief Administrative Officer, Director of Corporate Services, or Manager of Finance be given the authority for the necessary signing of checks for the various county bank accounts. Does someone make that motion? Adina, please. Thank you. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. We're getting dangerously close to the end here. That's not a bad thing. Regular meetings schedule. We need some coaching there. I believe it is a couple of Thursdays a month. Is that right?
Yeah, you bet. So I'm just pulling up the request for decision here. So discussion of the regular meeting schedule for Municipal Planning Commission, Council, and budget meetings. So from our bylaw 140702, meeting procedures, 5.1 reads, the regular meetings of council shall be established by resolution at the annual organizational meeting or any other meeting of council at which all councillors are present. For MPC, which is the Municipal Planning Commission, and council meetings, regular meetings of the MPC are held beginning at 10 a.m. on the Thursday of the first full week of the month, beginning on a Sunday, and on the Thursday 2 weeks after the first meeting of the month. Regular council meetings are held immediately following the MPC meetings. So options here, council confirms their interest in continuing with the schedule, which has been in place for several years, or you can discuss and select a different schedule. I will just keep reading here. Council meetings have been held during the day twice per month since 1976, with the first meeting on the Thursday of the first being the first full week of the month, starting with the Sunday, and the second meeting on the Thursday 2 weeks after the first meeting. In about 2009, the MPC meeting was moved from a single monthly meeting to 2 meetings per month on the same day as council to provide more opportunity for planning and development applications to be heard. If there's an interest in changing the regular meeting schedule, a motion would be required. The new meeting schedule would be advertised to the public electronically on the county's website and social media channels, published in the local newspapers, and posted on the public bulletin board in the entrance to our county facilities here. So that's regular council meetings.
Okay, anyone have perspective on this, or do you want to keep it the same? Do you want to change it? What do you think? No. We have a motion to continue the previous pattern. Greg moves that we continue with the pattern that Matt has outlined for us. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. Opposed? That's carried unanimously. Thank you. Matt, please.
And then just continuing on here, we are trying to roll in and make things a little more efficient for you. Typically in the past, we would come in, May or June and ask you to set a budget meeting date and budget review dates, and we come with an RFD to create a summer break. We usually cancel that second meeting in August, so we're hoping to take care of establishing those dates now as well. It will give you a full view of what your year looks like for meeting commitments. So on budget meetings, we typically have a budget planning meeting where we kind of take the temperature where council's thinking. So we've proposed the second Monday in July for a budget planning meeting, an interim budget review meeting, which we're doing on Monday and Tuesday next week. So we've proposed the first Monday in November be established for interim budget review meetings. So options there, you can confirm that the budget planning meeting will be scheduled annually on the second Monday in July, and the interim budget review meeting scheduled annually on the first Monday in November, or you can choose a different day in July and November for what suits your purposes.
Can you give us the exact date?
I could pull up the calendar for this year. So if we're saying the second Monday in July for 2022, just give me a moment. That would be July 11th. And the first Monday in November for 2022 would be November 7th.
Holly, please.
Is it 2 days in November or one? Like, is it just two because we're all new?
I fully anticipate we're going to get through our interim budget discussion in one day. But we've allowed for 2 days because there might be questions, and we're happy to tell the story behind the numbers, right? So we've got the budget process down to be pretty efficient. We try and kick all kinds of information out well in advance so you can chew on it, ask questions to us well in advance of the meetings, and then the meetings we get through, it depends on questions, right? So, and you know, for instance, if we need more than the second day, council can always schedule another day to meet and continue the conversations, right? So we meet at your pleasure.
What's your pleasure on this? Any discussion around some of this? I think it's a good thing to be out ahead of ourselves where we can. I mean, what do you think? Sorry? Okay. Neil, do you make that motion? Do we go with is that we need a motion for that? Okay.
I move that then.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. All in favor of the motion that we go with the proposed schedule for the next year or two? Thank you. That is carried.
And then the last item on these meetings would be the summer break. So instead of us coming back to you in the middle of the year to see if you want to cancel the meeting that has always been canceled in August, if you can make that determination now, you can make some summer plans and know you've got certainty that you don't have that second meeting in August isn't a wild card until June. I don't know when we typically have brought it in the past to cancel it, but we're proposing that you cancel the second MPC and council meeting in August to provide for a summer break.
Someone move that, Kelly, please. All in favor that we cancel the second as per instructions? Thank you, that's carried. That covers our regular meeting schedule. Good, pretty slick. Councillors' compensation and expenses policy, that would be interesting. Yeah, who covers that for us?
I think this is just included for as an information item. There's no motion or anything required here, but if you get into your AllNet agenda package, familiarize yourselves with the councillor compensation and expense policy, what's covered, what's not covered. That's why you have that committee in place to kind of police yourselves on what's acceptable and what's not. I don't know if our returning members of council want to speak to the policy and what works and what are items to be aware of as things to avoid, or Councillor Crispin?
If you like, I could share my experience. I always, when I'm writing out my timesheet, I always get confused with what is included in the stipend of $1,000. So if you can just remember that recreation and fire are a part of that $1,000. That's where I get foggy, because I'm listing all my items, and but compensation committee should fix that or catch that because it's in our policy, right? So that's my experience.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or that? We're good on that?
I could probably phone somebody to help me start the computer. Yeah. I've done that.
Okay. Yeah, Greg, please.
Is Jackie the person to contact about, or is it you that we go to you about that, I imagine?
Yeah, if you have questions about compensation and expense, I'm happy for you to give a call to Natalie or Jackie. They're gonna help you out. Read your policy first, and I mean, if they can't answer it, some of the questions might have to be deferred to the committee to review. But and that might be Kelly's shaking her head no, don't.
It's not me no more, Matt. I'm off that committee.
Yeah, but both Jackie and Natalie will be excellent resources for you if you've got any questions about what you can claim and what you shouldn't claim, and they're in all those details for sure.
Okay. Thank you. We need a motion to destroy all of the ballots, please. Amanda, thank you. All in favor that we destroy the ballots? That is carried. Anything else that we need to discuss today? Lane, please.
Nothing to discuss, but those that are signing authorities, we do have forms for you to sign off before you leave here today.
Okay. Dan?
I had a question about the banking resolution as to whether or not I was not paying attention when that got moved, or if that's something left out.
We moved to banking, yeah, I think so. So we're legal. Okay, anything else? If not, thank you. I'm sure that we will grind through some more of these, and like I said, if I say or do things that make you cringe, let me know. I'll try to get better. But it's very much an honor to work with all of you, and I look forward to I guess our next meeting is Monday, correct? And so with that, is that what this is for? Adjourn the meeting? No, that's the open. I mean, you can. Yeah, and just leave it for now. I declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you.